as the various Astabhairavas. The Astabhairavas are 8 manifestations of Paramashiva which guard the 8 directions of the world. Today, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is going to be awakening the Astabhairava energy in all of us through the Bhava Samadhi Darshan. Just by having a glimpse, having the Darshan, having our eyes fall on the divine, the ultimate energy, Kundalini awakening will happen in all of us. The specific energies of the various Astabhairavas will manifest in our being. And through that, our space of Paramashivatva, our true nature, will be protected from all negativity, allowing us to eternally reside in that space of Paramashivatva. Throughout this program, we are going to learn more about the Astabhairavas, and we are going to be having a very important completion process, which allows you, Paramashivatva, gives you the tool, technique to always be in the space of Paramashivatva, which after the process today, we're going to be having the darshan of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism as the Astabhairavas and bolting that experience in all our inner spaces. So before we enter any further, we're going to first have the grand narrative of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, where we'll be going over the history of Kailasa, the history of the Nithyananda Sangha, and the contributions the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has made for the entire world. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was born on January 3rd, 1978 in the holy town of Tirunamala. At the tender age of 3, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was coronated, went through the ritualistic ceremony of being a Bhala Sant, a Bhala Sannyasi. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, from a very young age, was identified as an incarnation as per Hinduism and was trained from a very, very young age to revive and manifest Yes, sorry for the technical glitch. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was identified as the incarnation of Paramashiva from a young age as per Hinduism, manifesting, being trained and identified by various people such as Vidwan Panduranganar, the 230th Guru Mahasanidhanam of Tunde Mandaladinam, as well as Yogi Raj Yogananda Puri.
I welcome you all with my love and respect. Let you all open all your 3 eyes. Om Nithyananda Paramashivam. Om Nithyananda Paramashivam.
Yes. Sorry for the technical glitch. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was born in Tirunamala on January 3rd, 1978 and was initiated as a Bala Sannyasi, which is the child saint initiation, through various ritualistic ceremonies at the tender age of 3. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is recognized as an incarnation as per Hinduism by several enlightened beings and masters in the holy town of southern India in Tiruvannamalai. From a very young age, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was trained to revive Kailasa internationally and create Kailasa for the whole world. Here we can see the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was ordained as the 233rd Guru Mahasannidhanam Pontiff of Kanchi Kailasa Sarvingyapeetham at just the young age of 10. These are one of the various coronations of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. And here we can see the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism being trained from youth to revive Hinduism. At the age 16, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was inducted as the successor to Arunachala Sarvingyapeetham by Mata Vibhudananda Puri, who was the Vedanta Guru of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. This coronation happened on the 24th of May 1994. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, as part of the traditional lineage, the traditional items of the Kamandalu, which is the water pot, the conch, and the wooden staff, were handed down to the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism as per the tradition by Mata Vibhudananda Puri. Here we can see the early days of the mission of the Nithyananda Sangha, where the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was coronated as the successor of Kashi Sarvingyapeetham in the year 1999. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism in the same year, on the 31st of December, founded the international mission, the Nithyananda Sangha, to revive Kailasa internationally. Here we can see the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism founding which is the Tiruchengodu Sarvingyapeetham in the year April 14, 2001, when the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was just 23 years of age. As you can see on the photograph, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism's own handwriting annotated on top of the photograph, marking and recording this historic moment. In the year 2002, on November 4th, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism founded Adi Kailas Nithyananda Peetham at the age of 24. Here we can see the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism being declared and coronated as the successor of Sri Pura Sarvingyapeetham on the 1st of January in the year 2004. In the same year, on December 31st, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was coronated as the 203rd Guru Mahasa, as the 203rd Emperor of the Suryavamshi Surangi Samrajya. We can also see the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism reviving the Salem Sarvingyapeetham on the 12th of November 2006, and the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was also declared as the Guru Dhanam of Adi Pallava Sarvingyapeetham on the 10th of January 2007. Yes, here we can see the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism being declared as the Mahamandaleshwar of Mahanirvani Akhada on the 23rd of Jan 2007 by the official leadership of the Sri Panchayati Akhada Mahanirvani as the 1008th Mahamandaleshwar. This honor was previously only bestowed upon Swami Vivekananda, and after since, it is only the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism who has received such a blessing. In the year 2012, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was coronated as the 293rd Guru Mahasannidhanam of Kailasonatha Shamlapita Sarvingyapeetham of Madurai. In the year 2013, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was officially coronated as the 1008th Mahamandaleshwar, which is the supreme spiritual head of Mahanirvani Akhada, which is the largest apex monastic order, on the 12th of February. In the same year, on the 27th of December, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was coronated as the 1008th Acharya Mahamandaleshwar, which is the head of all spiritual leaders of the Atal Akhada, which is the ancient most apex body of Hinduism. In the year 2014, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was coronated as the Guru Mahasannidhanam of Tanjavur Adinam, Tiruvarur Adinam, Vedaranyam Adinam, and Panchanadikulam. And as you can see here, the Guru Parampara of these various adinams and Saramanyapitams. In the year 2015, on the 13th of January, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was elected as the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism by a congregation of over 1,000 Hindu leaders, pontiffs. In July 2015, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was coronated as the present 23rd Guru Mahasannidhanam of Dharmamukti Swargapuram Madina. In the following months, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was also coronated as the Guru Mahasannidhanam of Adipita Koladamat on 14th of September. And on 28th June 2017, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism became the reviver of the Suryavamshi Chola Samrajya. Here we can see glimpses of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism conducting mass living enlightenment initiation conventions held in various cities in various parts of the globe, including North America, Canada, Europe, and various parts of Asia as well. We can see here glimpses of thousands and thousands of people attending the mass living enlightenment conventions conducted by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism across the globe. Here we are witnessing some of the glimpses, oldest celebrated festival in Hinduism, the Kumbh Mela festival, which is one of the largest festivals celebrated in the world. Thousands and thousands of people had come and gathered in the camp of Kailasa, erected by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. We can see here thousands of people being initiated into the mass living enlightenment by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism in the 2015 Nasik Kumbh Mela, as well as the 2016 Ujjain Kumbh Mela, where even more people had come gathered to experience this rare festival celebrated only once in every 12 years. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, the purpose of the Supreme Pontiff is to bring back the timeless Hindu Sanatana Dharma through the establishment of Sri Kailasa, a Hindu nation focused on safeguarding and reviving Hinduism, the world's oldest, peaceful, and enduring representation of harmonious coexistence. Kailasa is the first nation for Hindus and is a macrocosmic, ancient, Hindu enlightened civilizational nation whose vision is living enlightenment for all of humanity. Kailasa's mission is to revive the ancient sciences, the practical application of Hinduism, greater sciences, including Hindu cosmic physics, alchemy, cosmology, biology, mathematics, power manifestation, as revived by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. These sciences were once practiced freely across all the 56 nations spread across the continent, but are now endangered due to the persecution which has been happening for over a millennium. Here we can see the United States of Kailasa being recognized in the United Nations. Kailasa, the first nation of Hindus led by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam, spoke on behalf of the 2 billion global Hindu diaspora at the 14th session of the United Nations Forum on Minority Issues. A significant milestone in the history of Hindus and the sovereign state of Sri Kailasa, where the Kailasa nation happened on the 2nd of December 2021. His Excellency Sri Nitya Moksha Priyananda, Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary of Kailasa, represented the persecution of Hindus at the 14th session of the United Nations Forum on Minority Issues. The theme of the forum was conflict prevention and the protection of indigenous human rights of minorities. This was the first time the plight of persecuted Hindu minorities was represented in the United Nations. The ongoing, systematic, generational attacks of the Hindu indigenous traditions were highlighted as a part of this meeting. Here, we are now looking at the various initiatives started by Sri Kailasa Uniting Nations. Sri Kailasa Uniting Nations has launched 108 initiatives to support humanitarian services for an enlightened, peaceful, sustainable, equitable, resilient, and thriving world. One of the projects which we are looking at right now is Sri Kailasa Uniting Nations for Nutritious Food and Hunger-Free World, offering the No Hungry Home project. Kailasa, over the past 27 years, has served more than 1 billion meals. Kailasa has organized 3 million monthly annadans for the past 27 years, serving a total of 1 billion meals. On a daily basis, up to 10,000 meals are served for free, and this number goes up to 100,000 on festival days. All these meals and services are provided to all free without any discrimination. Here we have the projects and offerings by Sri Kailasa Uniting Nations for education reform and development in the form of the Nithyananda Hindu University and the Nithyananda Gurukul. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism established the Nithyananda Hindu University, which is the world's largest Hindu university, which has more than 20 million plus enrollments, more than 7,000 free courses, and extended campuses in more than 150 different countries. The Nithyananda Gurukul was inaugurated by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism on the 2nd of October 2006 for the revival of the ancient Adi-Shaivite Guru-disciple education system, which is an authentic knowledge transmission system based on enlightenment. Next, we have Sri Kailasa Uniting Nations for the protection of Hindu scriptures, offering the Nithyananda Jnanalaya project and the Hinduismpedia project. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism established the Nithyananda Hindu Jnanalaya project with over 1 million Hindu scriptures, 1 million palm leaf scriptures, and over 20 million digital books. The Nithyananda Hinduismpedia project is where the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has collected over 15 terabyte of digital books, rare manuscripts from over 19 Sarvanya Peetams, ancient muds, and ashrams. The collection includes 1 million pages on Hinduism, 22,000 digital books, more than 1,000 e-textbooks, and over 100,000 articles on various topics of Hinduism. Not only that, but the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has personally authored more than 1,000 books in 3 different languages, which in turn have been translated into 50 other different languages. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has also published more than 10,000 articles and has given 10,000 plus hours with a combined view of more than 1 billion. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is respected as the only commentator of the Prasthanatrayee, which is the Brahma Sutras, Bhagavad Gita, and the Upanishads of Hinduism. Here we have the Conferences for World Peace, offered by Sri Kailasa Uniting Nations for global peace and religious harmony. In the year 2009, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism organized a 1,000 kilometer month-long peace walk through 1,000 villages to promote unity, to promote feeling connection and oneness among people. Not only that, but the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism also organized for health medical camps to be erected and conducted and served to all the villages in which the peace walk passed through. Next, we have the women empowerment programs by Sri Kailasa Uniting Nations for feminine empowerment and gender equality. Kailasa's Yogini Sarvanya Peetam aims to improve the quality of life by promoting Vedic and Agamic life solutions for rural indigenous women, addressing issues of gender stereotyping, violence, and unequal learning opportunities. Sri Kailasa Uniting Nations also offers other initiatives such as the Kailasa's Nityananda Lakshmi, which is a microfinancing service, Kailasa's Women Foundation and Women Empowerment Self-Help Centers, which have been launched in more than 108 places since its initiation in the year 2009. Sri Kailasa Uniting Nations also offers the Kailasa's Ankita program, which is providing foundational literacy about the workings of basic community services and infrastructural environments, as well as Kailasa's Ashraya program, providing vocational training programs to rural and indigenous women to provide equal opportunity, independent, self-sufficient financial environments for them. Kailasa's protective and preventive COVID care centers by Sri Kailasa Uniting Nations for affordable healthcare and holistic living. For the past 3 years, the world has been suffering through tremendous insecurity, fear, and not certain about what is next for life. What should they do? How are they going to survive in a pandemic-filled world? It was only the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism who offered a way out for the whole of humanity, a safe haven where people could come and stay without being worried or without having the fear of attracting the COVID-19 virus. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism converted his facilities in his monasteries into a multi-layer quarantine facility, open and free to all people regardless of differences in age, in gender, in caste, creed, ethnicity, color, and social economic status. Basic facilities such as food, food, shelter, and internet, as well as free medical care, were provided to all for an indefinite period of time. Here we have the offerings by Sri Kailasa Uniting Nations in the form of Nithyananda Yoga. The Nithyananda Kriyas, one of the offerings in Nithyananda Yoga, are 108 scientifically validated Kriyas, which through a combination of ancient yoga, meditation and pranayama techniques, they are aimed to provide holistic health care and wellness to individuals and have been validated through scientific researches and studies and have been shown to heal multiple diseases and disorders. Here we have the revival of traditional forms of yoga in the form of the Shivastambha Yoga and Kundalini Rajya Yoga, which are the two ancient forms of yoga. These forms of yoga have been revived by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, and they focus on postures, weight balancing techniques, and other pranayama techniques to align the body with the cosmic geometry and manifest superconscious powers. Not only that, but the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has received 2 Guinness World Records for holding the largest rope yoga, which is the Kundalini Rajya Yoga, and largest pole yoga classes, attracting global recognition for these unique forms of yoga. Here we have one of the important projects of Kailasa, which is Kailasa's Ishanya project, recycling for poverty eradication and sustainable environment. Over the last 27 years, Kailasa has built a network of entities and partnerships in 140 different countries around the world, leveraging the network to collect clothing, medical supplies, equipments, and food material, and transport and distribute these to countries and regions in need. All of the transportation costs and distribution costs sponsored by the state of Kailasa. These are one of the most important projects being done by Kailasa for the benefit of the whole world and to give all the 8 billion people of this world the needed medical supplies and the needed infrastructure, which is being wasted in other first world countries. We also have Kailasa's digital media initiatives, where through all the digital media of Kailasa, more than 1 billion lives have been enriched worldwide. Kailasa's digital media has more than 11,514 digital media assets, 53 social media and web platforms in 108 languages spread across the 120 regions of the world. These social media platforms include Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, SoundCloud, Pinterest, Medium, Tumblr, among others. We also have Kailasa's Google project, which is a Hindu-centric online ecosystem aiming to cater to all needs of the Hindus across the world. The platform has been designed to address the needs of Kailasa, address the needs of the worldwide Hindu community. Kailasa's Google project is an authentic, as per Hindu scriptures, extensive amount of information and complete coverage for the Hindu world. And as you can see here, the various screenshots and illustrations and the various projects being offered by Kailasa's Google project. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has opened Kailasa to the whole world digitally through Kailasa's e-citizen. Becoming an e-citizen of Kailasa, offering to all those by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism for those who want to experience Kailasa. If you cannot come to Kailasa, Kailasa can come to you. This is the vision statement the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has given for the e-citizen project of Kailasa. All the services of Kailasa is made available online, free of cost, by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism for the whole world to experience Kailasa from wherever they are. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is the establisher of more than 1,000 enlightenment ecosystems of Kailasa, as well as the founder and reviver of more than 100 serving epitoms. As you can see here, the various serving epitoms founded and revived by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. Now we are looking at the various torture and murder attempts by the state and non-state actors. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has faced intense illegal persecution with over 100 false legal cases being filed against him. The persecution has also been carried out through various government mechanisms such as mobs, police and judiciary, all of which are controlled by politicians. Furthermore, social media has been a platform where all these riots and mob violence was used for instigating. Assassination attempts over the past so many years on the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, both in India and abroad. More than 40 incidences of attacks on community members and destruction of monasteries and temples have also been reported. There have also been more than 60 cases of attacks of molestation and rape of women and female monks. But despite all of this, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, withstanding and through his immense tyaga for all of us, for the whole of humanity, has established Sri Kailasa, a Hindu nation dedicated to preserving and reviving Hinduism as the world's oldest, peaceful, long-lasting model of harmonious coexistence. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is recognized as one of the top 100 most spiritually influential people alive today by Watkins' Mind, Body, Spirit magazine. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has also been recognized and is highly acclaimed and internationally recognized leader with numerous awards. Here we can see the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism receiving multiple awards from the Asia Book of Records as the single individual who has delivered the most number of discourses, has authored the most number of books, and many more world records, Asia Book of Records has been received by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, all of which can be freely viewed and available for you on the Nithyanandapedia website, as well as the Facebook page, Facebook handle of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. And so now with this, we're going to be learning about one of the other most important contributions of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism to the whole world, and that is the science of power manifestation. The science of power manifestation is one of the most important contributions to humanity by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. And it is through this science, Swamiji raises our being, raises our level of consciousness to superconsciousness, and directly turns us from man into divine. In this next segment, we are going to be learning more about the science of power manifestation, the Shastra Pramanas, Apta Pramana, Atma Pramana, and Pratiksha Pramana of these various powers, as well as a live demonstration of the powers of third eye and the power of consciousness over matter. So please stay tuned. We're going to be having a very extraordinary session and exciting session by Balasans of the Nithyananda Gurukul, who's going to be demonstrating these powers through the blessings and grace of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. Please stay tuned. We'll be right back.
A more intelligently connected world leads to a brighter future. An enlightened humanity leads to a better world. During the Paramashivam program, we help people to discover their superhuman possibilities and help them to find and achieve the true purpose of their birth by giving them the techniques, practices, and methodologies from the Vedagamas, the original source scriptures of Hinduism. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is reviving the ancient original Vedas and Agamas in all its glory, in a user-friendly way for the modern mind. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is transforming human beings into divine beings, reviving, initiating, and replicating the 463 powers from the Agamas revealed by Paramashivam. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is not just giving solutions for every problem man faces, but is making them irrelevant to their lives by transforming human beings into divine beings.
Listen. Any argument presented by your mind, body, your present reality to establish you are not Paramashiva. You are not omniscient, omnipotent, omnipresent. Anything presented to prove you are not Paramashiva is illegitimate. Decide this. This is super determinism. Understand? Anything you declare as illegitimate will lose power over you, will die in few days, few minutes, maybe in few weeks, whatever few days it takes. It will not have power over you. Understand, this is the method for sudden enlightenment. This is the method for sudden enlightenment. It happens by the Shaktipada. Here Paramashiva is sitting to tell you all, you are Paramashiva, you are me, with Shaktipada and Shaktinipada.
The Dvitiya Vijnasa Krama is an extensive and thorough yoga sequence to prepare your body to receive the experience being given by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. Through the yoga, which is aligned as per the source scriptures laid down by Paramashiva and the Agamas, you break all the impossibility in your body and in turn break the very cognition of impossibility. The program leads you to go beyond your human frame and limiting human ideas, which prevents you from living your highest possibility.
I will reach you wherever you are, whichever corner of the world you may be. I will reach you with enlightenment.
Again I tell you, I am not here to prove I am God, I am here to prove you are God.
Don't wait to become divine. Register now at paramashivoham.org.
Yes, so I welcome all the viewers back to the session. Now we'll be seeing the science of power manifestation. We'll be understanding various aspects of the science of power manifestation in this session. So now let's enter and understand what the science of power manifestation is and how it manifests through us. In the Vedagamas, the source scriptures of Hinduism, Paramashiva reveals in great detail that every human is hardwired to manifest the 463 Shaktis of Paramashiva. Manifesting Shaktis are described in a detailed and systematic science for humanity to access the various states, possibilities, and powers of Paramashiva. The Shaktis manifest from the fundamental cognition that you are Paramashiva and not the cognition that you are a human and you need to reach Paramashiva. Now let's see the difference between the Shaktis and the Siddhis. The Shaktis are powers that manifest from the space of enlightenment. After the initiation of a guru into a specific practice or into a specific way, into the specific Shakti, it starts to radiate from you. These extraordinary happenings start to happen from you, and those are the Shaktis. But the Siddhis, on the other hand, are powers that happen during the path of enlightenment. When you're striving for enlightenment, the Siddhis manifest through you. And the Siddhis are not permanent, they divert us from the path of enlightenment, whereas Shaktis bring us closer and closer to the space of Paramashiva, and it helps humanity in so many different ways. Now let's see the four different filters, the four different evidences to prove, time test, and foolproof these Shaktis. So first we have the Shastra Pramana, which is the scriptural evidences, the direct words of Paramashiva in the Vedas and the Agamas. Also the other Upagamas, the Upavedas, the Vedangas, the Tantras, all of these scriptures which have been directly revealed by Paramashiva are the Shastra Pramanas. Next, we have the Apta Pramanas, which is the experiences of various rishis, enlightened masters, incarnations, and beings from the other 14 worlds, how they have come down and shown us the signs of power manifestation, how it is possible, and how using that we can create a better future for us. Next, we have the Atma Pramana, which is the experiences of the Supreme Point of Hinduism. Not only his experience are shared by him, the Supreme Point of Hinduism verifies whether his experiences are in alignment with the Shastra Pramana. And only after that, he shares it to us as his Atma Pramana. Next, we have the Pratyaksha Pramana, which is the scientific study on these Shaktis, what Paramashiva has revealed, what science has revealed in about the science of power manifestation, what science is able to understand from the manifestation. Now let us see the source for the Shaktis. From where do they manifest? The Shaktis manifest from Paramashiva. Paramashiva is the very field that creates this whole cosmos, that creates this whole existence. He is self-effulgent, he is beyond time and space. He creates the manifest and the unmanifest through the 5 actions called the Panchakritya. And it is from that state these Shaktis manifest through us. Now, the ultimate truth that the Supreme Point of Hinduism has revealed about Shaktis is when a powerful cognition is mapped into your consciousness, when you cognize and believe in a particular cognition, when that cognition has become your experience, it starts to express from you as Shaktis. Now let us see each of the pramana in detail. First, we have the Shastra Pramana for the power of the third eye. Third eye is an intra organ which has been given to all humanity, all human beings, and not only humans, to all beings in this cosmos. But through the human body, it expresses at its maximum capacity by giving us the direct vision of Paramashiva. It is the ultimate browsing center. It is the center from which your will to command the whole reality can be you willed, and it is the space through which all these Shaktis manifest. So now let us see the Shastra Pramana, the scriptural evidence for this Shakti, what Paramashiva has revealed in the Vedas and Agamas. So the Shastra Pramana is from the Vijnana Bhairava Tantra, a scripture which has been given to Uma Parvati to Devi by Paramashiva himself. Here in this verse, Paramashiva says, Kapalantarmanonyasa tishtanmilita lochanaha kramena manaso dadyat lakshayed lakshyamuttamam. The meaning for this verse is, by fixing the mind on the inner space within the crown center and sitting stably in succession to the third eye, the eyes in succession to the third eye, one has the vision of the ultimate goal, the Lakshyam, and he has the sight beyond the physical eyes, and he is able to see any object or place without the need of the eyes, and he is in oneness with Paramashiva. So now this Shastra Pramana gives us the direct understanding of how the powers manifest from the third eye. Next we have the Apta Pramana, the experiences of the various enlightened masters, incarnations who have come in the past. So here we have the story of the Vishwarupa Darshana of Bhagavan Sri Krishna. In the beautiful epic of the Mahabharata, the historical event of the Kurukshetra, when that happened, Bhagavan Sri Krishna had given Arjuna the cosmic form darshan, the Vishwarupa darshana to Arjuna. Arjuna had requested Bhagavan Sri Krishna that Arjuna wanted to see that cosmic form. And at that time, Bhagavan Sri Krishna, in the 11th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, initiates Arjuna into the third eye, and Arjuna is able to see the cosmic form of Bhagavan Sri Krishna. So here we have the verse. The translation of the verse is, you cannot see my cosmic form with these physical eyes of yours. Therefore, I initiate you into the divine third eye. Behold my cosmic form. So after this initiation, Arjuna is able to see the cosmic form of Bhagavan Sri Krishna, and not only he sees, but he sings it in a beautiful meter, and that is all recorded in the 11th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. Next we have the Atma Pramana of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism itself. In his own words, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism says, I was in my first experience that I had, I was able to see everything above me, below me, around me, the whole 360 degrees in 10 directions. Not only I was able to see, but I was able to feel and experience everything around me. So here we can see how the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism's experience is showing us the actual manifestation of the third eye. Not only it is showing us the manifestation happening in the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, it also is in alignment with the Shastra Pramana. Next we have the Pratyaksha Pramana, which is the time-tested scientific study conducted on the powers. Here we have the studies that were conducted directly on the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism had undergone the positron emission tomography test, where they had measured the amount of activity, amount of energy being released by the brain. And when they were studying the brain, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism showed high amounts of energy being released from the frontal lobe of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism's head. That point is only the place where usually we depict the third eye. And this reading has been replicated in various other studies that have been conducted on the Balasans and the yogis. So this is the Pratyaksha Pramana for the power of the third eye, showing the existence of the third eye. Now let us see one of the powers that manifests from the third eye, which is the power of consciousness over matter. Consciousness over matter is the power to will. Just by your will, you can create, you can manipulate the reality the way you want. When we connect with Paramashiva, when we are in oneness with Paramashiva, this power manifests so that we can create the reality that we want. This is the most beautiful power that Paramashiva has given to all of us, because using this power, it is not just moving a small object on your hand, but it is actually moving life for you. So now let us first see the Shastra Pramana for the power of consciousness over matter. This is also from the Vijnana Bhairava Tantra, Sutra 120, Dharana 95. In this verse, Paramashiva says, Kvachid vastuni vinyasya shanair drishtim nivartayet tadjnanam chitta sahitam devi shonyalayo bhavet. The translation for this verse is, having fixed one's eyes on a particular object, one should slowly withdraw the gaze, thoughts, impressions of that object. Then, O Devi, one abides in Shunya, the state of all inclusivity and ultimate oneness. So this Shastra Pramana also gives us a step-by-step understanding on how the power of consciousness over matter happens in a yogi. Now we'll be seeing a live demonstration of this power, where I will be manifesting this power to all of you. So here we have a close-up camera which is going to be projected now. Yes, so here we have the close-up camera which is being projected. So we have an Atmalinga and we have the tissue paper. Now with this Atmalinga, I'm going to be placing my hand on the ground, and you can see that there is no kind of unordinary or uneven stuff which are, or uncommon things which are being seen in my hand. You can see till the wrists also. And the Atmalinga, as we know, is made of a crystalline material, so no kind of magnets can be used. And we have this tissue paper to show in a simple way that we can, just by rotating the Atmalinga with this tissue paper, we will see that there's no strings tied to the Atmalinga. So now I'm just folding this. Now I have nicely compressed and folded the tissue paper. Now I'm placing my hand on this cushion which is on a flat surface. So why we are using a cushion here is so that the Atmalinga, even when it falls, as it is a very sacred object, nothing happens to the Atmalinga. So now I placed my hand, and now with this tissue paper I'm just circling the Atmalinga. So you can see even when the tissue paper is moving, there is no movement in the Atmalinga. So I'm moving above, I'm in the sides, everywhere we can see that there's no strings which are being tied to the Atmalinga. So I've gone in all directions. So when we create an authentic space for the powers to manifest, it also creates a very powerful impact in us. Because when we believe the Shaktis of Paramashiva, when we make the manifestation as authentic as possible, it really changes the cognitions in us. So that's why it's very important to make sure that the manifestation happens authentically. Now, not only I am going to manifest, but I also invite all the viewers to manifest this Shakti with me now. Because when the Balasans, initiated Balasans, manifest these Shaktis, we create a strong space of entanglement for the powers of Paramashiva to manifest. When we manifest the Shaktis in a space of entanglement, not only it happens normal level of just these manifestations happening, but you can also create a reality for yourself or your family members. When we create a space of entanglement, we have seen scientifically that irrespective of how much of a distance, or even if I don't know you watching this manifestation now, automatically the manifestation, the entanglement still happens. Because when we, example, see a football match or a cricket match or any sports or a movie, automatically, even though the actors are not there physically and the movie had been taken a long time back, even then the emotions happening in the movie, in the game, automatically reflect in us. This science is because of the power of entanglement. So now we will be entering into the manifestation. You can just chant along with me the Mahavakya Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham, and now let us enter into the manifestation. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. 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 So now we saw how beautifully the Atmalinga stood and also rolled and fell behind. So this power, as I explained before, is not just to move an object, but it is also to create a reality. This power, obviously, Paramashiva has not given it to us just to move a particular object. It is to move life the way we want. Now, the beautiful opportunity for all of us to also actually manifest these powers in a real way, in a strong way, is actually happening in the Paramashivoham program, which is going to be starting tomorrow. So I invite all the viewers now who are watching to start with an intention. Over the past so many days, we have been manifesting the powers of Paramashiva. It is to create a reality for you to manifest a reality. So now you can take this beautiful opportunity that Paramashiva has given for you to manifest the Mahaparamashivoham program. Because in the Mahaparamashivam program, directly you will be initiated by the Supreme Founder of Hinduism into not just the Shaktis, because Shaktis are only the side effects. He will be initiating you into the science of becoming Paramashiva. And as we know, Paramashiva created this whole cosmos and he is this whole cosmos. So when we become one with the cosmos, automatically we can create a life that we want. We can manifest the ultimate abundance, we can manifest the ultimate health, the ultimate relationship, everything that we want in life can be manifested. So now I invite all the participants who are watching us now, all the viewers who are watching us now, to create the registration, to start with the intention, to start with an intention by heading over to paramashivoham.org. We also have the QR code. But when you create an intention, you may see that you are manifesting the power of creating the reality. Because only when you see a reality happen in real life, only when you believe that the reality has happened, actually reality happens. So now let's take this few minutes before we move into the next segment, where we are going to be learning about the various forms of Paramashiva as the Astabhairavas and the understandings from the forms of Astabhairavas. Before we move into that segment, I invite all the participants to register yourself and your family for the Mahaparamashivaham program. So thank you, Nithyananda.
For centuries, we've sought to understand the essence of life. Is it not what we all yearn to know? What is consciousness, and how is it that sometimes we are aware and sometimes we are not? What happens if our ego or self dissolves completely? Is consciousness present before all experience? We perceive the world as separate from us. But what if it's not? How do we transform the sensory experiences of our brain into the higher dimensional reality of our consciousness? Meditation has been proven to be the path to understanding the nature of our mind. It lets you feel the pulse of reality. The question remains, how much of reality do you wish to perceive?
I'll give you the precise methodology, technology for you to raise, reach, realize, and manifest Paramadvaita, the ultimate oneness, in as simple way as possible.
Yes, we had a beautiful demonstration of the powers of third eye and the powers of consciousness over matter, where Parameshwar Maharaj beautifully, just through connecting with Swamiji, chanting the Mahavakya, invoking Swamiji in his inner space, and being in oneness with the Atmalinga, he and the Atmalinga, in that space of oneness, whatever will, whatever intention Parameshwar Maharaj was carrying, simply it manifested through the Atmalinga. This is just one of the many powers Paramashiva has revealed that can be manifested by all of us in the Vedas and in the Agamas. A possibility that has opened up for you, a possibility where you yourself can experience and manifest these powers through the Mahaparamashivaham program. Today, we're going to be learning about the Astabhairavas, and we're going to be performing an important completion process that allows us to manifest the experience of Paramashivatva, which the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism will bolt and make it permanent in our inner spaces during the Bhava Samadhi Darshan, as well as awakening the Astabhairavas, which will prevent any negativity to our experience of Paramashivatva. Let us first understand the science behind Bhava Samadhi Darshan. Here we have a few fundamental truths which we all need to cognize in order to manifest the powers of Paramashiva, in order to have the experience of the Bhava Samadhi Darshan. Number one, being that the divine cosmic beings are real and they manifest from Kailasa, which is the enlightened time-space zone, through deities and through incarnations. The divine cosmic beings manifest through the Archavataras, which are the deities in the temples, and through the Bhava Samadhi Darshans as the Nijavataras. The Bhava Samadhi Darshan is an experience which allows the heightened neuron frequencies, resulting in a surge of superconscious energy that slows down the aging process and improves immunity to diseases. Furthermore, this experience stimulates the whole brain, making the whole brain active and alive, enabling it to function as a superconductor of conscious energy that has power not only to heal, empower your life, but also transform our lives completely. This transformative process can cleanse past lifetimes, leading to a breakthrough in superconscious energy, superconscious awareness, resetting and rejuvenating one's being. These are just few of the many benefits, many experiences, many happenings which will happen as a part of the Bhava Samadhi Darshan. It is fundamentally raising you from being the level of man to becoming divine, by raising your neuron frequencies to vibrate to that of the higher planes, higher lokas, where these devatas, these divine beings, cosmic beings reside. The Astabhairavas are a unique manifestation of Lord Paramashiva, and they serve as the protectors of the world and the savior of humanity. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, through the Bhava Samadhi Darshan, will be awakening the energy of the Astabhairavas inside each and every one of us, allowing them to guard against negativity and embody the essence of Paramashivatva in each of our beings. We can prepare ourselves for the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism to give this ultimate experience for us by doing the completion process. The completion process is a tool, a technique for us to come out of our negative thoughts, negative thought currents, engrams, and all the incompletions and sufferings which we have, which is preventing us from manifesting the reality we want, and to become Paramashiva. Here, we're going to be listening to a satsang, a small clip where the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism explains the completion process in order for us to manifest Paramashivatva completely. A very simple but very powerful completion process, after which we are going to be doing now, and then having the direct darshan of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism manifesting the Astabhairavas. This completion process which we are going to be doing now is directly aimed not just towards health, not just towards wealth or relationships, but directly aimed at you manifesting and experiencing your Paramashivatva. So before we enter into the completion exercise, completion process, I request all of you to give yourself this opportunity, this blessing of manifesting Paramashivatva. Keep all the distractions, all the devices, everything which has the potential to distract you and take you out of the space of listening. It is only when we are in the space of listening, not hearing, but in the space of listening. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism says it is only in this space that whatever Swamiji reveals, it will become part of our cognition. It will become part of our daily thinking. It will imbibe get imbibed in us as a part of our thought currents. And so that can only happen when we move from the space of hearing to the space of listening. And so now, please get ready. If you need to get a pen and a paper, a book, your book of heart, please get, as we enter into the completion process.
Listen to this sacred secret. Listen. Initially, when you put this idea into you, you will have too much of resistance, anger, guilt, fear, too many things coming out. And powerlessness. No, this is not for me. First of all, this may not be true. Second, no, this is, even if it is true, not for me. No, this may be true for the people who don't have to work for their food and paying the bills. No, maybe it is true for the people who are sitting in Kailasa and enjoying the happy, free life. All kinds of thought currents will come inside. Sit, have a little patience, listen. Listen to yourself and start penning down precisely what all resistance, anger, fear, guilt, powerlessness, what all is getting blurted out, vomited by your immature mind. Listen, pen down. Do completion 2-3 times. Sit with mirror. Actually, I tell you, if you sit with mirror and chant Mahavagya and do completion, you will see me in the mirror. Then all your patterns are complete. Till you see me in the mirror, do completion with the mirror. Your form will disappear and my form will appear there. Till then, sit in front of mirror and do completion. Understand? This is the initiation I am giving to all of you. Sit in front of mirror. Pen down all these patterns and fears and everything. Intensely chant Mahavagya and see the mirror and start reliving this pattern. Start completing. You will see me appearing in the mirror and making you completely complete and making you manifest powerful cognitions and powers. Till I appear in the mirror, continue completion. And I tell you, I will really appear in the mirror and make you complete and make you manifest powers. When I say, I mean. Just sit in front of the mirror and declare simple integrity to me. Start chanting Mahavagya and remember this powerful cognition, today's cognition. Pen down all the incompletions, fears, anger, guilt, impossibility, patterns which tells you no, you need to be dependent internally, externally other than Paramashivam. Pen down all of that. Whatever patterns tells you, you need to be internally, externally dependent on something else other than Paramashivam. Pen down. Pen down. Sit in front of mirror and start completing all those patterns and incidents, root incidents, everything. Let all the incompletions melt down, be completely burnt away. You will see in your pure inner space and in the mirror me appearing.
Yes, Very beautifully, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism explained how the completion process, what is the completion process which we should do in order to manifest this space of Paramashivatva. Throughout the past couple of days, through the various exercises we've been doing as a part of the Bhava Samadhi Darshan, we have been identifying and doing completion with specific and certain aspects of our life. We have done completion with health, with wealth, with relationships, with our integrity, where and all we are missing integrity with ourselves, with life, with relationships around us, and ultimately with the Master. In various levels, in various different ways, we have done completion processes, we have understood powerful cognitions, and we have worked towards having completion in all these different fields in our life. Today, what we're going to be doing is having the key, using the ultimate completion technique to not only manifest Paramashivatva, but by manifesting Paramashivatva in all of us, completing and manifesting everything else which we want in our life as well. This process is extremely important today because after having the darshan of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism as the various Astabhairavas, this experience which you're going to be carrying now after this completion process, the experience of Paramashivatva which you are going to be carrying in your inner space will be permanently bolted in you, and be it in health, wealth, relationships, all the different aspects in parts of your life will only be Paramashivatva, will only have Paramashiva in them. The completion Paramashiva has will be your completion. And all this is possible just by having the darshan of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. Throughout your life, you give time to everyone but yourself. You give time to your family, to your friends, to your various co-workers, to the various people and the various team leads you have. But just sit and think with yourself, how much of time are you actually giving for yourself, for your personal development, for your personal transformation and growth? Allow yourself to be integrated to just these few minutes where you personally spend on yourself to break all the insecurities, all the patterns, all the engrams, all the samskaras, and finally manifest the Paramashivatva, our original state of existence. We are going to be doing this completion process in 2 steps as described by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. Initially, when you take this idea into you that you are Paramashiva, pen down all the fear, powerlessness, impossible thought currents that start plaguing you. When you start thinking of yourself, yes, I am Paramashiva, what are all the different impossibilities, all the different things your mind starts telling you? You can't even wake up in the morning, how are you Paramashiva? You can't even cook a decent meal, how can you be Paramashiva? Whatever all these different thought currents, all these different ideas, all these impossibilities being put into you by your mind, sit and take a few minutes and pen them all down. Write down everything being blurted out by your immature mind, which says that internally and externally you need to be dependent on everything which is not Paramashiva. Take a few minutes now, sit and intensely, sincerely pen down. By penning down and identifying all the root thought patterns, all the things which need to be completed in your life, you are taking the first step to manifesting Paramashivatva in your life. So let us all now sit and do this completion process intensely. Pen down everything, every single thought, every single idea which is coming to you, which is being presented to you by your mind, which are you being bombarded with from all different sides, all different directions. Sit and pen down every single thing which says otherwise to your Paramashivatva. Don't allow your mind to distract you. Don't allow the impossibilities, the reasons, the immature cognitions given to you by your immature mind to hijack you, to hijack your process, your journey of becoming Paramashivam. Sit and intensely, sincerely pen down all the root thought patterns, root currents, all the impossibilities which you think is preventing you from being Paramashiva, from manifesting Paramashivatva. It can be a pattern which may be as old as the time you were young when you were first discovering yourself, or a pattern which you would have acquired only recently. A straw, fundamentally how old the straw is still straw, which can be simply burnt by the fire of the Paramashivatva experience, which is going to be given to you now by Swamiji, by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism himself. So now intensely, sincerely, sit and continue to pen down all the immature cognitions, immature thought currents, all the impossibilities, so-called impossibilities being presented to you by your mind, why you are not Paramashiva. Continue to sit and intensely pen down. Sorry for the technical glitch. It is now time to enter into the next step of the completion process. Now, with all the thought currents, immature cognitions, and immature ideas, impossibilities, which you have identified, which is stopping you, preventing you from becoming Paramashiva. Now, pick up the mirror and start chanting the Mahavakya mantra. Om Nithyananda Paramashivam. Do completion, relieve and relive and relieve all the patterns until your image dissolves and only Swamiji is there in the mirror. When you sit and start completing with all the patterns, all the thought currents, all your root samskaras, slowly one by one, you will start dissolving. And only Swamiji will be there residing in the mirror. When this happens, all your patterns have dissolved and only Swamiji is there residing in your being. And so now, let us continue to do the completion process intensely and sincerely. It is this important step through which the Parameshwartva starts manifesting in us, Swamiji starts manifesting in us. And this experience can be bolted into our beings, into our systems, as we have the Bhava Samadhi Darshan. So please go get the mirror and start the second step of the completion, doing the real completion after identifying all the root patterns, root thought currents, and root samsaras, and doing the completion to manifest Paramashivatva. Continue to do this completion process as we get ready of today's program, which is the Bhava Samadhi Darshan. As we get into the break, continue to sincerely sit and do the completion process. Please stay tuned. We will see you shortly after.
Understand? Literally lost.
Powerful decision. You have consciously planned your future. It is time for us to receive the avatar's blessings to manifest our plan as reality. It is time for us to receive the blessings from Swamiji, for us to have the darshan of Swamiji, for us to manifest our desire, or I should say our goal, our future plan as reality. So let us all now get ready to enter into the next segment, the preparation for darshan after a very, very short break. Now, let us all enter into the darshan preparation. We welcome all the viewers that have joined with us on Facebook and on YouTube for the Bhava Samadhi Darshan. We welcome all the viewers. Today, we're all going to be receiving the darshan of the Astabhairavas, the 8 manifestations of Mahabhairava. And this is a very powerful darshan which will give each and every one of us the experience, the power, the initiation to walk in the path of enlightenment, to experience enlightenment. Actually, in the Vedic tradition, in Hinduism, darshan is one of the most powerful knowledge transmission method, because all that we can learn through scriptures, all that you can learn through studying, and even if you read all the Upanishads, Vedas, everything, what a guru can transmit through one initiation is 10,000 times more than what you can learn in your entire lifetime by yourself. That is why in the Sanatana Hindu Dharma, Guru Shishya Sampradaya is called the backbone, is called as the backbone of Sanatana Hindu Dharma. Because it is in Guru Shishya Sampradaya that beyond any barriers of time, space, capabilities, possibilities, you experience the ultimate. You taste the possibility of you to manifest the ultimate. Now, all of us are going to be receiving the Bhava Samadhi Darshan. Bhava Samadhi Darshan is a space where, transcending beyond the parameters of time and space, we are raised to the highest conscious existence, where we tune into the space of oneness with the avatar. The very word Bhava Samadhi is a very beautiful word in itself. Bhava means an attitude or an aspect. Sama means oneness, and Adi means source. So the very word Bhava Samadhi means connecting in oneness with the divine through a particular aspect. For example, whether we see Swamiji's darshan as Krishna, or Swamiji's darshan as Rama, or Kala Bhairava, or Ashtabhairavas, each of these manifestations lead us to a certain experience, a certain powerful cognition, and we mirror that state of existence of that deity. And this is what science calls as mirroring of neurons. In Hinduism, this very science was introduced thousands of years ago, called Shaktini Pada, where you experience the entanglement with the avatar, with your guru. Now, all the participants, every one of you that are sitting with us, today's Bhava Samadhi Darshan that we are going to be receiving is going to be the form of Astabhairavas. So Astabhairavas, Ashta means 8, Bhairavas are the forms, manifestations of Paramashiva. So these Astabhairavas, Asitanga, Ruru, Unmata, Krodha, Bhishana, and different such Bhairavas, 8 such Bhairavas, Mahabhairava, Unmata Bhairava, all of these Bhairavas are manifestation of Paramashiva, his different energies. So now, each of us are going to be manifesting this exact state of consciousness as these Ashtabhairavas through this process of darshan and mirroring of neurons.
And each one of you that are here tuned in, just wanted to share. Like I see Ma Shanbhagavali Reddy, who has posted saying she requests for healing and removing of all evil eyes and any evilness, witchcraft, sicknesses, diseases, eye problems, and to have a very good mental health. The Ashtabhairavas are responsible for all of these, and they have the power to shower you with these auspiciousness, especially the evil eyes and black magic. If any of you are suffering, or if you have any of your relatives that are suffering with this, all you need to do is just come sit here during the darshan. I also want to set the context for everybody. During the darshan, this is the time where when you are preparing yourself to come and have the darshan of when you had darshan of Bhagavan, you will suddenly notice how so beautifully you just being sitting and how Bhagavan manifests everything for you. Swamiji will manifest everything for you. The auspiciousness of all of those deities will start manifesting in you.
Now, let us all enter into the Bhava Samadhi Darshan. Let's all get ready to receive the Bhava Samadhi Darshan of Astabhairavas. Please sit straight with your head, neck, and spine in a straight line. And let us all enter into the deep meditative space of gratitude. Shanta Mahavakya. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Connecting with the divine with your eyes closed is meditation. Connecting with the divine with your eyes open is darshan. Come, let us all now move from meditation to darshan. Slowly, very slowly, please open your eyes.
देवराजसेव्यमान पावनाङ्घ्रिपङ्कजं व्यालयज्ञसूत्रमिन्दुशेखरं कृपाकरं नारदादियोगिवृन्दवन्दितं दिगम्बरं देवराजसेव्यमान पावनाङ्घ्रिपङ्कजं व्यालयज्ञसूत्रमिन्दुशेखरं कृपाकरं नारदादियोगिवृन्दवन्दितं दिगम्बरं काशिकापुरादिनाथ कालभैरवं भजे भास्वरं भवातिहारगम्बरं नीलकण्ठवीप्सिताटधायकं त्रिलोचनं कालकालमम्बुजाक्षमक्षशूलमक्षरं काशिकापुरादिनाथ कालभैरवं भजे कीर्तिदायकं काशीवासलोकपुण्यपापशोधकं विभुं नीतिमार्गकोविदं पुरातनं जगत्पतिं काशिकापुरादिनाथ कालभैरवं भजे। कालभैरवाष्टकं पठन्ति ये मनोहरं ज्ञानमुक्तिसाधनं विचित्रपुण्यवर्धनं शोकमोहदैन्यलोभकोपतापनाशनं ते प्रयान्ति कालभैरवाङ्घ्रिसन्निधिं ध्रुवम्। काशिकापुरादिनाथ कालभैरवं भजे काशिकापुरादिनाथ कालभैरवं भजे काशिकापुरादिनाथ कालभैरवं
உலகை காத்தருளவே கையிலையில் தரும் நித்யனின் தரிசனம் தன்னை தானறியவே இமையசைவிடில் தீட்சை தரும் தரிசனம் மறைப்பொருளாயிருந்து திரை விலகி திருவடி தொழும் தரிசனம் வீரை சூடிய சடை நாதனின் திருவுரு தரிசனமே மறைப்பொருளாயிருந்து திரை விலகி திருவடி தொழும் தரிசனம் வீரை சூடிய சடை நாதனின் திருவுரு தரிசனமே அருள் வேண்டி வேண்டி திரளான கூட்டமுமை தேடி வரும் அல்லவா மறை நான்கின் பொருள் உணர்த்த நாளும் கண்டருள கையிலை உதித்ததல்லவா பொருளெல்லாம் தேடி உலகெல்லாம் ஓடி உடையனுள் உணர்ந்தல்லவா பொருளெல்லாம் தேடி உலகெல்லாம் ஓடி உடையனுள் உணர்ந்தல்லவா உலகை காத்தருளவே கையில் தரும் நித்யனின் தரிசனம் தன்னை தான் அறியவே இமையசைவிடில் தீட்சை தரும் தரிசனம் கரைகளும் உன் திரு கைகள் தந்ததே இரவும் பகலுமே ஒன்றிரு கண்ணில் அசையுதே நாங்கள் என்ன கோள்கள் என்ன உம்மை பற்றிட இரண்டு புவனங்களும் உம்மை சுற்றிட பொருளும் அருளும் தர மனதின் இருள் விலக பரமசிவ தரிசனம் மாயை வென்றுவிட ஞானம் பெற்றுவிட மோட்சம் தரும் தரிசனம் பல சித்த புருஷர்களின் ஞானி யோகிகளின் தவமெனின் தரிசனம் அடியும் முடியையும் ஒன்றாய் காண்பதற்கு கையிலையில் தரிசனம் சதுர்வேத கோஷமுடன் நாத கீதங்களின் ஒளியில் இனி தரிசனம்
பாலவியாமே
முத்து பிண்டம் வரையிலும் சாட்சியாகும் ஐயன் தரிசனம். சொல்ல வார்த்தை ஏதும் இல்லையே, சொக்கநாதன் முந்தன் தரிசனம். நித்யானந்தா 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 நித்யானந்தா.
ஸ்ரீ அருணகிரீஸ்வர ஈசா மூத்த தமிழ் குடி மக்களின் நேசா குமரி கண்டமானும் பரமேசா சங்க தமிழை காக்கும் கைலாசா.
முட்டில் நிறைந்த சிவம் என்று கலந்திடவே என்று கடந்து உள்ளிருந்த கனவுளி தரிசனம். உலகை காத்தருளவே கையிலையில் தரும் நித்யன் தரிசனம். தன்னை தான் அறியவே ஈமை அசைவினில் தீட்சை தரும் தரிசனம். உலகை காத்தருளவே கையிலையில் தரும் நித்யன் தரிசனம். தன்னை தான் அறியவே ஈமை அசைவினில் தீட்சை தரும் தரிசனம்.
Sit as Paramashiva. Inhale and exhale deeply with 25 heads and 75 eyes and 50 hands. Visualize, meditate, connect with him. He is a living, alive being. Drop your form into his form and dissolve. Remember, you are a Sarupya Mukta, means your form is dissolved into his form. All my disciples, now I am initiating Salokya Mukti, Samipya Mukti, Sarupya Mukti, Sayujya Mukti. Om Nithyananda Paramashivam. 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 Om Nithyananda Paramashivam.
வாராண்டா கருப்பழக அவ எங்க பேரழக சந்தன பொட்டுக்கார சவ்வாது வாசக்கார. வாராண்டா கருப்பழக அவ எங்க பேரழக பாக்கத்த கோபக்கார உண்மையில பாசக்காரன். காலவில் கடவுளடா கருணையில் கடலடா கும்பிட மருகனமே தரிசனம் கொடுப்பாண்டா. கூப்பிட குரலுக்கு ஓடி வந்து நிற்பாண்டா. காவல் கேட்டா காசூலம் தாங்கி காப்பாண்டா. வாராண்டா கருப்பழக வாராண்டா கருப்பழக அவ எங்க பேரழக சந்தன பொட்டுக்கார சவ்வாது வாசக்கார. வாராண்டா கருப்பழக அவ எங்க பேரழக பாக்கத்த கோபக்கார உண்மையில பாசக்காரன். ஏழுகால பூஜைகடா செய்யு பாக்கியம் கிடைச்சதடா. கற்று வச்ச மந்திரமும் கண்ண கண்டது மறந்ததடா. ஏழு கால பூஜைகடா செய்யும் பாக்கியம் கிடைச்சதடா. கற்று வச்ச மந்திரமும் கண்ண கண்டது மறந்ததடா. பாலபிஷேகம் செய்திடவே பாவ மோஷம் கிட்டியதடா. கோர கார கண்ணத்துக்கு சந்தனத்த புசுங்கடா. அழகின் அம்சமடா என் மீசமாமனடா. வாராண்டா வாராண்டா அவன் கண்ண உருட்டிக்கிட்டு. வாராண்டா வாராண்டா அவன் மீச முறுக்கிக்கிட்டு. வாராண்டா பொட்டுக்கார சம்பாது வாசக்கார வர்றாண்டா கருப்பழக அவன் எங்க பேரழக பார்க்கற கோபக்கார உண்மையில பாசக்காரன். அவசரத்தில் அலங்கரிச்சாலும் அவன் அழகுக்கு பஞ்சமில்லையே. பூமால பார்த்து புட்டாக்கா அவன் ஆனந்தத்திற்கு எல்லையே இல்ல. ஏற்றிய தூபத்தை விட உண்மேனி மணக்குதையா. காட்டிய தீபத்தில் திவ்ய தரிசனம் கிட்டியதையா. புசித்த நைவேத்தியத்தால் அமுதம் ஒன்று கிடைத்ததையா. கண்ட கற்பூர காட்சியிலே கண்கள் கசிந்து வடிந்ததையா. சதன மேனிகளுக்கு சந்தனத்துல பட்டையிடு கண்ணில மைய தீட்டி மீசையத்தான் முறுக்கி விடு. சதன மேனிகளுக்கு சந்தனத்துல பட்டையிடு கண்ணில மைய தீட்டி மீசையத்தான் முறுக்கி விடு. முறைச்சி பார்த்தாக்கா கண்ணத்தை கிள்ளி விடுடா. வர்றாண்டா கருப்பழக அவன் எங்க பேரழக சந்தன பொட்டுக்கார சப்பாது வாசக்காரன். வர்றாண்டா கருப்பழக அவன் எங்க பேரழக பார்க்கற கோபக்கார உண்மையில பாசக்காரன். தேவியின் கருணையுடன் சிவனின் விஸ்வரூபம் தர்மம் வழி நடப்போரின் கர்மம் நீக்கி காத்திடுவான். மாயையை விலக்கியே பூர்ணத்துவம் கொடுத்திடுவான். காலத்தை வென்ற கால காலனிவன் சகல கால பூஜையுடன் இந்நாளும் முடிந்ததடா. வேறென்ன வேண்டும் இனி உன்னை கட்டி அணைப்பேனடா. திருமேனி தீண்டவே அனுதினம் எழுவேனடா. திருமேனி தீண்டவே அனுதினம் எழுவேனடா. சத்தியம் சாத்தியமானதடா நெஞ்சம் நித்யானந்தத்தில் நிறைந்ததடா. நிறைந்ததடா நிறைந்ததடா. நித்யானந்தம் 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 நித்யானந்தம்.
கருப்ப 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 கருப்பா நிஜ கருப்பா எங்க விரைவு போட்ட விரைவு வரணும் கருப்பா நிஜ கருப்பா. கருப்ப 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 கருப்பா எங்க கருப்பா தீமைகளை ஒழிச்சு விடணும் கருப்பா நிஜ கருப்பா. கருப்ப 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 கருப்பா நிஜ கருப்பா எங்க விரைவு போட்ட விரைவு வரணும் கருப்பா நிஜ கருப்பா. கருப்ப 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 கருப்பா எங்க கருப்பா தீமைகளை ஒழிச்சு விடணும் கருப்பா நிஜ கருப்பா. வேகமெல்லாம் அழக பெய்ய வீர சாட்டி கையில் கருப்பசாமி வராது. அண்டோ நடு நடுங்க ஆளோலோ செஞ்சுக்கிட்டு கொண்டோ கொடி சீலையுட கருப்பசாமி வராது. நோக்கி டீக்கிட்டிங்க வேகமெல்லாம் அழக பெய்ய வீர சாட்டி கையில் எடுத்து கருப்பசாமி வராது. அண்டோ நடு நடுங்க ஆளோலோ செஞ்சுக்கிட்டு கொண்டோ கொடி சீலையுட கருப்பசாமி வராது. கண்ண கண்ண உருட்டிக்கிட்டு சடகையெல்லாம் உரிச்சுக்கிட்டு மீசையெல்லாம் முறுக்கிக்கிட்டு அடி அடி வராது. அமாவாசை நடுநிசையில் பாரு வேட்ட ஆடிடவே பிடரிகால மரத்தடியில் ஒய்யாரமா வராது. தீர்த்திடவே மாயாண்டி வராது. 18ஆம் படிக்கிறகி காக்கும் தெய்வம் வாரா. நோக்கி டீக்கிட்டிங்க வேகமெல்லாம் அழக பெய்ய வீர சாட்டி கையில் எடுத்து கருப்பசாமி வராது. அண்டோ நடு நடுங்க ஆளோலோ செஞ்சு கொண்டோ கொடி சீலாயுட கருப்பசாமி வராது. சாம்பிராணி மன மணக்க பம்பா உடுக்க சத்தம் ஊரெல்லாம் கட்டிடவே வாராயா வாராயா சந்தன பொடி பூசி சாம்பிராணி மன மணக்க பம்பா உடுக்க சத்தம் ஊரெல்லாம் கட்டிடவே வாராயா வாராயா மொட்டை கரும்பு வாராயா உடம்புல சங்கிலி சுத்தி சங்கிலி கரும்ப வாராயா வெல்கம்பு வீச்சருவா வீசிக்கிட்டே வாராரு வெங்க புலி போல இங்கு வீரமாக வாராரு மக்களான மக்களை எல்லாம் மகாபரமசிவன் நிலைய உணர வைக்க அந்த 18ஆம் படி கருப்பு பாம்பு காட்டுக்குள்ள காலபைரவனா குடி புகுந்து கலிகால பூமிய கைலாயமா மாத்த வந்திருக்கோம். அம்மையப்பன் நித்யானந்தன் பூரணம் கொண்டு வந்த அழக பாடிடதான் வேண்டுமோ?
நித்யானந்தா 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 நித்யானந்தா
கருஞ்சடைக்க விரிச்சு விட்டு முக்கோணமா மூணாங்கண்ணோம் கருஞ்சடைக்க விரிச்சு விட்டு முக்கோணமா மூணாங்கண்ணோம் கோடாரி முறுக்கு மீச கருப்பா எங்க கருப்பா எனக்கு உனக்காக தந்தேனைக்கா கருப்பா எனக்கு உனக்காக தந்தேனைக்கா கருப்பா கண்டமால போட்டுக்கிட்டு சங்கிலி மணி மாலை சுத்தி கண்ட மாலை போட்டுக்கிட்டு சங்கிலி மணி மாலை சுத்தி வெள்ளி சூளம் கையிலேந்து கருப்பா பெரிய வெள்ளி சூளம் கையிலேந்தும் கருப்பா எங்க கருப்பா அழகு கருப்பா கோட்டை கருப்பா சங்கிலி கருப்பா விரைவில் வருவாய் எந்தன் கருப்பா எந்தன் கருப்பா வருவாய் குருவாய் அருள்வாய் வருவாய் குருவாய் அருள்வாய் கருப்பா நீ வருவாய் குருவாய் அருள்வாய் கருப்பா பசமுடன் ஓடி வந்து நேசமாக அருள தந்து காய் போல பாச காட்டும் கருப்பா பச்சை குழந்தை போல பாசத்தை காட்டிடுவா மெச்ச ஒரு அழுகில கருப்பா உன்ன மெச்ச ஒரு அழுகில கருப்பா பெரிய கருப்பா கம்பு வீச்சருவா வீசிக்கிட்டே வராரு வெங்க புலி போல இங்கு வீரமாக வராரு கருப்பா கருப்பா
நித்யானந்தா 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 ईशानमूर्ताय सदाशिवाय तत्पुरुषवक्त्राय महेश्वराय अघोरहृदयाय रुद्रेश्वराय वामेश्वराय स्थितिस्वरूपाय सृजनेश्वराय स्वागतं स्वागतं स्वामिन् ते स्वागतम् अस्माकं हृदये भोः सुस्वागतं ते स्वागतं स्वागतं स्वामिन् ते स्वागतम् अस्माकं हृदये भोः सुस्वागतं ते ब्रह्मस्वरूपं शिवशक्तिऐक्यं डमरुकरतिरुशूलम् आह्वानहस्तं काषाय वस्त्रं राजसन्न्यासं वन्देहं परमहंस नित्यानन्द सद्गुरुम् श्री जगद्गुरु शिवगुरु स्वागतं स्वागतं स्वामिन् ते स्वागतम् अस्माकं हृदये भोः सुस्वागतं ते स्वागतं स्वागतं स्वामिन् ते स्वागतम् अस्माकं हृदये भोः सुस्वागतं ते संसारे आरण्ये अध्यन्तकारे तु कौमुदी गुरुदेव शरणं संसारे आरण्ये अध्यन्तकारे तु कौमुदी गुरुदेव शरणं त्वस्य जालेनु तप्तोऽहं पाहि मां मामाश्रैतमौषधं गुरुपादशरणं तस्य जालेनु तप्तोऽहं पाहि मामाश्रैतमौषधं गुरुपादशरणं पूर्णिमनायक शिवशक्तिप्रदायक नित्यानन्द गुरवे शरणम् शरणम् अज्ञाननाशकं ज्ञानविवर्धनं ज्ञानपदस्य रूपं तं नतोऽहं भक्तिप्रदायकं पापविमोचकम् आगमज्ञानधमवलोकवेषज ज्ञानेश्वरा नित्येश्वरा अरुणेश्वरा योगीश्वरा सर्वकारणा विश्वमूर्तये सर्वात्मने शिवशम्भवे भूतपदगे सात्विकरूप बहुलाय निवाससे स्वागतं स्वागतं मिन्ते स्वागतम् अस्माकं हृदये भोः सुस्वागतं ते स्वागतं स्वागतं स्वामिन्ते स्वागतम् अस्माकं हृदये भोः सुस्वागतं ते ब्रह्मस्वरूपं शिवशक्तियैक्यं दमरुककरतिरुशूलम् आह्वानमस्तम् काषाय वस्त्रं राजसन्न्यासं वन्देऽहं परमहंस नित्यानन्द सद्गुरुम् मद्गुरुम् श्रीजगद्गुरुम् शिवगुरुम्
शाम्भवे अमृतेशाय सर्वाय महादेवाय ते नमः मृत्युञ्जयाय रुद्राय नीलकण्ठाय शाम्भवे अमृतेशाय सर्वाय महादेवाय ते नमः
పరమశివుడేరా స్వామి పణవాడేరా కైలాసనించి వచ్చిన పణతోడేరా నిత్యానంద పరమ శివమేరా నిత్యానంద పరమ శివమేరా మణవాడే మణతోడే మన స్వామి వచ్చాడురా మణవాడే మణతోడే మన స్వామి పాద కమల శరణం
ఏమీ వాక్యమురా మనది ఎంతటి మోహమురా ఏమీ సౌఖ్యమురా మనది ఎంతటి మోక్షమురా ఏమీ వాక్యమురా మనది ఎంతటి మోహమురా ఏమీ సౌఖ్యమురా మనది ఎంతటి మోక్షమురా
ఎంతటి కష్టమైనా మనకి స్వామి నీ తలవరా ఏమీ లేకుండా నీకు స్వామి ఉన్నాడురా ఎంతటి కష్టమైనా మనకి స్వామి నీ తలవరా ఏమీ లేకుండా నీకు స్వామి ఉన్నాడురా దర్శన దర్శనమిచ్చాడురా స్వామి దివిలో నీకెళ్ళామురా దివ్య శరీర స్వామి మన భాగ్య విధాతరా దర్శనమిచ్చాడురా స్వామి దివిలో నీకెళ్ళామురా దివ్య శరీర స్వామి మన భాగ్య విధాతరా మనవాడేరా మన తోడేరా దర్శనమిచ్చాడురా మనవాడేరా మన తోడేరా స్వామి పాద కమల శరణం
ఏమీ భాగ్యమురా మనకి ఎంతటి మోహమురా ఏమీ సౌఖ్యమురా మనకి ఎంతటి మోక్షమురా ఏమీ భాగ్యమురా మనకి ఎంతటి మోహమురా ఏమీ సౌఖ్యమురా మనకి ఎంతటి మోక్షమురా
తెలుపుతోటి స్వామి శక్తి ఇచ్చాడురా భూమిలోని అంతరికి శక్తి ఇచ్చాడురా ఒక్క తలుపుతోటి స్వామి శక్తి ఇచ్చాడురా భూమిలోని అంతరికి శక్తి ఇచ్చాడురా మనకి శక్తినిచ్చి మనతో అంతరికి ఇచ్చాడురా స్వామి దీక్షతో పుట్టివాడు చూసేనురా మనకి శక్తినిచ్చి మనతో అందరికీ ఇచ్చాడురా మన స్వామి దీక్షతో పుట్టివాడు చూసేనురా ప్రపంచమంతా సంతోషమే పరాశక్తి ఆవిష్కరణమే
ఏమీ భాగ్యమురా మనకి ఎంతటి మోహమురా ఏమీ సౌఖ్యమురా మనకి ఎంతటి మోక్షమురా ఏమీ భాగ్యమురా మనకి ఎంతటి మోహమురా ఏమీ సౌఖ్యమురా మనకి ఎంతటి మోక్షమురా ఏమీ భాగ్యమురా మనకి ఎంతటి మోహమురా ఏమీ సౌఖ్యమురా మనకి ఎంతటి మోక్షమురా ఏమీ భాగ్యమురా మనకి ఎంతటి మోహమురా ఏమీ సౌఖ్యమురా మనకి ఎంతటి మోక్షమురా
కైలాస దేశ స్వామి భూమి పైన కైలాసర ఇక్కడ భువిలో జనులు చైతన్యుడురా కైలాస దేశ స్వామి భూమి పైన కైలాసర ఇక్కడ భువిలో జనులు చైతన్యుడురా మెలుకోండి మెలుకోండి దివ్య శరీరాలు కండి మన స్వామి కృపతో మా మనము పరమశివ అండి మనవాడేరా మన తోడేరా మన స్వామి పాద కమల శరణం
ఏమీ భాగ్యమురా మనకి ఎంతటి మోహమురా ఏమీ సౌఖ్యమురా మనకి ఎంతటి మోక్షమురా ఏమీ భాగ్యమురా మనకి ఎంతటి మోహమురా ఏమీ సౌఖ్యమురా మనకి ఎంతటి మోక్షమురా ఏమీ భాగ్యమురా మనకి ఎంతటి మోహమురా ఏమీ సౌఖ్యమురా మనకి ఎంతటి మోక్షమురా ఏమీ భాగ్యమురా మనకి ఎంతటి మోహమురా ఏమీ సౌఖ్యమురా మనకి ఎంతటి మోక్షమురా
हर हर बोल शिव शंभु नित्यानंद परमशिव शंभु हर हर बोल कैलाश राज शिव शंभु चल रहा मैं अकेला तेरी ही एक आंसू में सोना सा मेरा समंदर तेरी ही एक प्यासू में बारिशे बन के मिला जो तुझ में ही मैं खुल गया नदिया के जैसे तू आया तुझ में ही मैं खो गया आ गया। थाम तेरे हाथों को जो तुझसे ही मैं मिल गया। बातें तुझे से ही सारी करूं, रूठा तुझ पे ही मैं करूं। तेरे खानों पे चढ़ के जग ये सारा मैंने हारा करूं। हंसना भी तेरे संग करो, रोना भी तेरे संग ही करो। भोली सी तेरी हिण को मैं खुद को ही देखा करो। मेरी हर सांस में है तू, घन घन में बसा है तू। मेरी हर सांस में है तू, रग रग में जला है तू। सांस मेरी जो चली है बोलती है ये तो सुन ले रे। हर हर बोल शिव शंभु, नित्यानंद परम शिव शंभु। हर हर बोल शिव शंभु, कैलाश राज शिव शंभु। हर हर बोल शिव शंभु, नित्यानंद परम शिव शंभु। हर हर बोल शिव शंभु, कैलाश राज शिव शंभु।
सदा शिवाय शाम सवेरे रात दोपहर बोलो सारे नमः शिवाय। शंभो जय त्रिलोकनाथ मांगुत पूरा सदा शिवाय। शाम सवेरे रात दोपहर बोलो सारे नमः शिवाय। शंभो जय त्रिलोकनाथ। हाथ में तेरे डमरू बाजे, गले में तेरे नाग साजे। कैलाश पर्वत में तू राजे, तीनों लोक में डंगा बाजे। शंभो भोलेनाथ नित्य शिवाय नमः ओम शिवाय नमः। शिव शंभो भोलेनाथ नित्य शिवाय नमः ओम शिवाय नमः। शिव शंभो भोलेनाथ नित्य शिवाय नमः ओम शिवाय नमः। शिव शंभो भोलेनाथ नित्य शिवाय नमः ओम शिवाय नमः। शिव शिवा शिवा शिवाय नमः शिवा शिवा शिवाय नमः। तेरे बिल्कुल साथ साथ में पास पास रगती मां भवानी। तेरे खंड में रुद्र की माला, जटा से तेरी गंगा बहती। तेरे भक्ति में लीन लीन वो झूम झूम। तू भी सब है ब्रह्म मिटाते, कष्ट मिटाते, गले लगा ले। रुद्र देव तू जटाधारी तू, गंगाधारी तू है नित्यानंदा। परम शिवा तू महादेव तू, काल भैरव तू नित्यानंदा। नीलकंठ तू नागेंद्र तू, महेश्वरा तू है नित्यानंदा। दिगंबरा तू नटराज तू, अरुणगिरी तू है नित्यानंदा। शिवरात्रि को महारात्रि नित्यानंद शिव शंभो शंभो। भोलेनाथ की महादेव की शिव तेरी जय शंभो शंभो। शिवरात्रि को महारात्रि नित्यानंद शिव शंभो शंभो। भोलेव की शिव तेरी जय शंभो शंभो। Guru Nithyananda Shiva Shambho Shambho Bholenath Ki Mahadev Ki Shiva Teri Jai Shambho Shambho Shivaratri ho Maharatri Nithyananda Shiva Shambho Shambho Bholenath Ki Mahadev Ki Shiva Teri Jai Shambho Shambho
Shiva 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 Shivane வந்து அவதரித்தான் கைலைய நாயகனாடிடும் ஆட்டத்தில் சைவத்தையே அவன் புனரமைத்தான் சிவ 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 சிவனே வந்து அவதரித்தான் கைலைய நாயகனாடிடும் ஆட்டத்தில் சைவத்தையே அவன் புனரமைத்தான்
நித்யானந்தா 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 நித்யானந்தா
ஞானமும் கொண்ட சக்தியும் பரமனாக நெஞ்சில் பதித்தது அஷ்டசக்தியும் 10 திசைகளும் உன் புகழை பறைசாற்றியது கைலையை படைத்த கலைஞனே கைலை நாயகா பரமேஸ்வரா உந்தன் அருமையை அகிலம் பரப்பிட படையெடுப்பனே
ஆதி சைவம் போற்றும் எங்கள் தேசம் ஆடி பாடி கொண்டாடிடும் கூட்டம் என்று முந்தன் அழகு கவிதை பேசும் ஜெய 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 நித்யானந்தா படும் பைரவனின் கவலோட அகிலத்தை ஆண்டிடும் வீரன் அவன் வழிட அவனோட வாழ்ந்திட வெளிவந்தே நானும் அவனோட சேன
ஒரு பார்வையில் என் முக்கண் திறந்தாய் பரமசிவனாய் வாழ்ந்திட வைத்தாய் நானும் போற்றும் கடவுளே இந்த கலியுகத்தில் என்னை காத்திடுவாய் பார்க்கடல் கடந்திட வந்த நஞ்சை தானே உண்ட நீலகண்டன் இவன் ஆடும் பிரளயத்தை அடங்கியாண்டிட ஆதிசக்தியின் வடிவு கொண்டான் ஆதி சைவத்தை காத்திட வேண்டும் விஸ்வரூபம் எடுத்து நிவா கோடி அடிகளை தாங்கிய பரம்பரை எழுதில் நாங்கள் வீழ்வோமா
மதுரையை ஆளும் அரசனாய் வந்த சொக்கனாய் ஆதி கைலையை அமைத்த நித்யனாய் சென்று கைலையை செய்த செங்கோல் தாங்கிய சங்கரா நெஞ்சிலே உன்னன் குருவையும் உயிர் பக்தியும் கொண்ட தேவனே இங்கு அஹிம்சையே உன்னன் வாழ்க்கையாய் வைத்து வாழ்ந்திடும் பரமனியடா நித்யானந்தாய ஜெய 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 நித்யானந்தா ஜெய 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 நித்யானந்தாய ஜெய 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 நித்யானந்தா ஜெய 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 நித்யானந்தாய ஜெய 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 நித்யானந்தா ஜெய 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 நித்யானந்தாய ஜெய 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 நித்யானந்தா
Paramashivam Nithyananda Paramashivam नित्यानन्द परमशिवोऽहम् ॐ नित्यानन्द परमशिवोऽहम् नित्यानन्द परमशिवोऽहम् ॐ नित्यानन्द परमशिवोऽहम् 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 Paramashivoham Om Nithyananda 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 Paramashivoham
Thank you so much for all the viewers that tuned in for this beautiful session. In just a few more minutes, we all are going to be this. I just want before we conclude, and tomorrow we are going to be having the live Darshan of Swamiji. We are going to be experiencing the Paramashivam program tomorrow. We are going to be having the Darshan of Gajamukha Anugraha Murti tomorrow, and just so excited for tomorrow. The Paramashivam program officially starts, and we are having a lot in store. So, all the viewers that want to experience the Paramashivam program, whoever wants to sit in the two-way video conferencing with Swamiji, the program starts from tomorrow. You can join us. Sign up for Paramashivam. Thank you so much. And all the viewers that are there with us on the Naina Deeksha on the two-way video conferencing, we will now be continuing our program.